My dad always wants jollity. He always wants pizzazz and excitement and bright lights. And I think that really sums up my dad in that he wants this jollity to be pushed, against adversity. I think, I don't know if he'll agree with me, that's how I think he kind of got through those years. I mean, my mum and him laughed quite a lot throughout the day. So a commonality amongst all of the projects that I've done over the last 30 years is that I quite like aliveness. So often my work is an event, a performance, or something that's kind of ephemeral. So me making a piece of sculpture is quite unusual, but that's kind of a new venture with my dad.
It's a little jewellery box sort of thing I made. And that one's for Lisa. She got those, they're all wooden. There's they're all drawers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drawers. Oh yeah, there's me in my workshop.
So my dad is Dad, or Gordon Watts, Gordon Frederick Watts. There was a painter called Gordon Frederick Watts, which my dad likes to mention. My dad, who's now a contemporary artist, so he worked as a builder, but really he sort of says more of a carpenter and a joiner, 15 to 65.
I've made a organic stool. Bizarre, isn't it? Well, I like to be occupied. I'm that sort of person. I can't sit around. I like to be doing things. And I think Lisa's like that as well.
So my dad, for 40, 50 years, cared for my mum while he was working full-time. But he doesn't see it like that. He just sees it as his wedding vows. He wouldn't even see it as a dutiful thing to do. They were immensely in love, and he looked after her.
This saw here was my granddad's. Remember that? Yeah. Lisa's getting very good with a saw now. She hasn't cut any fingers off. Yeah. Because she made a few things.
So my dad and I started working together in 2019, but we really came together around 2015 when my mum went into a nursing home. And that was the first time I started to spend weekends with my dad and time with him, because I didn't realise what kind of crisis he was in terms of looking after my mum. And then from there on, we started to spend weekends together, which was really lovely. And then we started to talk about art. I mean, he's always painted. And so he then started painting me pictures of birds and things and photographing them and sending them in the post to me. And then I said we should start making work together. So we then decided to make a 5-hole golf course, crazy golf course.
That sits in there. Well, it all started off as a windmill, and then I just kept adding things to it. I added this to it. That went round. And they've got 4 faces in there, that's going round. And I've got a bird goes up and down here with my Meccano. Because as it's going round, you've got to time it to get the ball past it.
I feel that this project's quite unusual because I have seen quite a lot of art where it's about the relationship between the daughter and the mother. And I suppose if you look into history, there has been relationships between fathers and daughters, but it's usually the father passing on their knowledge and skills to a daughter. But it's quite unusual for a daughter and a father to be working together and for the daughter to be enabling the father.
And how has it been working with Lisa?
Oh, fine. We didn't have any arguments. Didn't have punch-ups. No, it went very well, yeah. And I get a lot of pleasure out of it. And also it's kept me very busy through the virus because, you know, you're stuck, aren't you, really? But I was so lucky, really, that all this come along.
The first thing that you'll do is you'll get given a club and a ball. So the club's been handmade, so there's a sense of a care in somebody making that tool for you to use. And then you step onto these carpets that are patterned in like a kind of cottage pattern. You know, it's pre-IKEA. And as you put your feet onto that carpet, you get a sense of homeliness. And I remember my dad in one of our meetings with the care nursing home that my mum was in would say to them, why don't you put lino on the floor in the care home, it'd be easy to clean. But they said, no, the people in the home will want that sense of homeliness and carpet in their bedrooms. So I wanted that comforting sense of walking on carpet on the units, and also my dad's desire to have, as a man that's kind of come from a working class estate, he wanted a cottage in a village. So that's what he has at home. The voices that you hear that come out, that are triggered, that are from the units, are my mum and dad in dialogue when my dad's caring for her.
All right, Josie.
I'm very sorry you had all this. Ow, my back!
So my mum would say things that would make my dad laugh, which I think were quite harsh, but he found them very funny. So I've put phrases in there that he likes. So when you hit a ball down the wrong hole and then you get that voice coming out of the units, that's what will happen. You'll get that voice, which is my mum's voice. But what we've had to do, because the recordings were done while my dad was pushing her in the wheelchair in a very windy place, we've had to re-record them. So I've impersonated my mum and recorded them in a sound studio. I'd like the visitors to get out of my crazy family golf a sense of value in care and caring, and to get that through, I think the project's both fun and emotional, to get both of those emotions happening, but also if they are caring for people in their lives, which obviously most people are, then, or being cared for, an appreciation of that. Because I never got to see him on his own, and he was always so busy with my mum, I had this inkling that he could be this fun, clever, sensitive, great guy, but I never had proof of it. And so doing this work with him has proved that. I've wanted that for 40 years, since I was a teenager, to have that time with my dad. And so it's been fantastic. It's beyond fantastic. What can I say? Beyond fantastic. Yeah.